So I actually have always liked making videos, making content. I started making stop motion when I was in like elementary school.
We got an autograph, right?
Just like a random, like,
Yeah,
what
random
is happening?
autograph.
Because there's a million times where you're gonna post something and there's gonna be people that are like, oh, this kid is so cringe and like, it's so embarrassing. Like,
Hey, welcome to the X Room podcast. It's an honor to be here with our friend, Brandon Deluna.
Woo!
And I've been following him for quite some time, and I get entertained every single time I see a post. Here with my co-host, Maylee, we're at the X Room event. So as you look around, you can see these crazy cars. Is this the coolest place or what?
this is the coolest place. This might be the coolest place I'll ever do a podcast.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. Yes, exactly.
Starting with the pinnacle of places to do podcasts,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, let's jump right in.
I would like to know, right, is why did you start becoming a YouTuber?
So I actually have always liked making videos, making content. I started making stop motion when I was in like elementary school, and just like making videos, and I just thought it was funny to like make people laugh, so I just rolled with it.
All right. You've always been a funny kid?
I wouldn't say I was always a funny kid. I was pretty not funny when I was like elementary school. I was probably like the weird kid, but yeah, that can translate to funny if you play your cards right.
Okay, so can we talk about what just happened, or we want to redo it, or what do you think?
I think it's good. Yeah, we can
do
do
you
the
think
actual.
that turned out? I mean, you're the visionary behind it.
It should be.
And
it
what,
should be good.
What, let's just keep all this in with no cuts right here, because I want to discuss what just happened.
Okay, let's do it.
So, this is what you saw. We asked a question about content, and I kind of handed over the bottle, and as you all saw, we got an autograph, right?
Just like a random, like,
Yeah,
what
random
is happening?
autograph. And I think we just demonstrated what it's like to do his content, which is like so spontaneous, so, right? It's so different.
It's been, yeah, that's kind of been the thing I've been like known for like recently is the whole aura farming, like signing things.
Say it again. What's the name of it?
It's called aura farming. So it's a little bit of a weird concept, but the whole way it started was just like I go by a group of people, drop a piece of paper on the ground, they pick it up, and then I sign it and essentially just like force my autograph like on them as if I'm a celebrity, essentially. So like kind of fun.
And then capturing their like reaction.
The reaction,
to that.
exactly.
Right.
It's so fun. Was it?
Oh, he said, "How'd you come up?" So we have a studio audience here.
Yeah.
Step over there and say and introduce yourself to everyone. We got a studio audience.
How did you come up with that?
This is Cutler, by the way. If you didn't see Cutler, show me your face, Cutler, so we know who our live studio audience is. There it is, right here. These two have the best hair in the whole room, and AA Ron, right?
AA Ron. So how I came up with it, crazy story, is I didn't technically come up with it, kind of. So I actually, when I was I served a mission and I was in Mexico for 2 years. But when I was there, I would like think of ideas for videos all the time, just like random stuff. And I actually remember specifically, I wrote down in my like notes app, I wrote down an idea. It was just like a little quick bullet point, and it just said like signing people's things, like just like that simple, right? And then I get back from the mission and I was watching like reels or something like that, and I see a TikTok of some kid that did like that kind of concept where he like dropped something, like dropped a paper, and then like, and he called it aura farming too. So I didn't technically come up with the idea like for that specifically, but when I saw that video, I was like, dude, I could make this 10 times better and like make it like edited like way better, like just make it like just like better essentially.
It's like a fun vibe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think it was gonna like become like a whole giant thing like that it became. I was actually in communications class in college, and the teacher was talking about going viral, and I raised my hand. I was like, teacher, like, professor, like if I go viral, will I get extra credit in this class? And she was like, yeah, if you go viral, I'll give you extra credit. And I'd already gone viral before, like a few times before the mission. And so I was like, dude, I'm just gonna try go film a clip real quick with my friends, like in the Wilk, in the like in the cafeteria of the college. So we go there, take a couple takes, get that video. I edited it, and I'm like, bro, there's no way this doesn't go viral, because it was so funny to me. Post that video, and like literally within a day it had like 1 million, and then I woke up the next day, it had like 5 million, and just kept going and going and going, and just like started blowing up.
How many millions have seen your content at this point?
In the last month, I'm at about like 200 million views right now. So like
200 million views.
Yeah, which is insane.
Right?
It's actually crazy. From just like one concept too. It's crazy.
But I love that as an entrepreneur. It's like the most simple idea sometimes is like what exactly
Right.
lands the hardest.
Exactly.
People overcomplicate the idea of social media, right? They overcomplicate the simplicity of just one message, one unique, simple thing you can be known for, right? I love that you're known for that. It's so fun. But you're a funny, so tell me more about like why you thought you needed to add, you know, like a funny vibe to your content. Like what was that about, and why did you choose to take that angle?
I don't know. Like I said, like when I was in elementary school, I was kind of just like a weird kid, you know? And then I realized like that you can either be just like weird and just like let that be like who you are, or you can like nowadays, like humor is, you can be like weird and like be funny off of that, if that makes sense. If you're just confident enough. If you're weird,
confident, that's the case.
Yes.
It's confidence. If you're just weird straight up, then you're just weird, right?
Yeah.
But if you're weird but confident, then like people love you. You're like, they think you're so funny. So it's like if you have that like key factor, then you can be funny for just like literally the most random stuff, the most random concept.
I need my kid to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great advice. I think for anyone, really, like so often we get so caught up on our own, like, oh, I'm gonna look so stupid. I'm gonna look right. So if you know, as our viewers are listening, like, what would be one advice that you could give them that would be like, hey, like, how did you just say, no, I'm gonna figure this out? Like, what was that look like?
For me, it's like I think a lot of people watch my content. A video that I blew up before my mission was I went on stage at graduation. Like they called my name and I went up on stage and I fell like on stage in front of like the entire school, right? You saw that?
Yeah.
And then I got up and just started like twerking, right? Like
Yeah.
stupid concept,
Right.
But went viral. And so like with a video like that, I think a lot of people like see those videos and they're like, oh dude, like this kid, like he's so confident, like he like nothing fears him. I get comments all the time where it's like social anxiety fears him. But like truthfully, like I still like I get nervous about those things. It's just that like for me, like the value of like the cost of having that embarrassing experience for like 1 second versus like having all this success, like being, you know, like in social media, like for me it's just worth it, you know what I mean? So like I still have like what you'd call like social anxiety, or like, you know, it still embarrasses me or like makes me nervous to go do those things in public. But it's like once you realize like what is at stake and what you could get from it, it's just fun. Like
The opportunity cost.
Exactly, opportunity cost. And so like you realize you just have to like just kind of hold your breath for a second. It's really awkward, it's really embarrassing for a second, but then it's all over and then you get like funny content out of it, and it's just like everyone loves it.
Tell us about the funniest response to what you did. Like you do an autograph, hand it back to them. What was the funniest reaction?
I don't know. I've gotten some interesting reactions. I've had a few people, I haven't posted these ones yet, but I've had a few people where I do it and they already know who I am. And they're like, no, dude, not this kid, like the Aura Farm kid. Because there's like half of the people at my school, they like think I'm hilarious, and the other half of the people think I'm like annoying. So it's like, I'd say maybe more like 10%, but it's like.
You almost have to go to a different farm now. It's like,
exactly, right?
Because everyone kind of sees you on your scooter and you're like, oh no, I'm going to be on a. Yeah.
It's a little bit too public now. I have to start getting different concepts. I don't know if there was one video where I did where I was inside the Chick-fil-A in like the cafeteria of my school. And when the lady like went to go hand me my receipt, I started to go sign it, and she like pulled the receipt back and was like, no, like I'm not getting Aura Farm today. And that video also blew up. It got like 6 or 7 million views or something like that. Just like blew up for no reason. It's so funny.
I actually have a question about that because I've talked to quite a few, obviously, influencers, and some videos just don't hit. They just don't land. And I feel like, I don't know, sometimes like the one that you spent the most time on or thought this would like be the funniest thing ever, and then it just like flops. Did you have an experience like that, or just all your content's awesome?
Literally, no, 100% no. I've been in social media space. Like I've been making videos since like I was, I don't know, like 8, let's say. But I've been in the social media space since like 7th grade. And since like all those years, I don't think like literally just constantly you're making videos, spending hours like putting in effort, and then just like don't do like anything like you wanted it to like turn out. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's funny, especially with like this whole aura farming thing. It's not gonna last forever. Like even now, like my views are starting to go down, and so it's like I need to just like pivot and like find different things I'm gonna do, obviously. But it's like there's constantly like times where I've produced content and I posted it, and it just gets like no engagement, no views, like no likes, no nothing, and it's just like it's hard to have that. But if you really do truly love like the game and you really truly love making content, like you're not going to be, set back by that, if that makes sense. That's what's fun.
But isn't that weird? I feel like that's
Yeah.
like something. Sometimes like the video that you spent so
Exactly.
much time
Makes
on.
no sense.
It's always the videos that you spend the most amount of time on
Right.
that get no views.
No views. You're just like, oh, perfect. I'm so glad I spent so many hours on this.
So many, we have 200 entrepreneurs that came in today, and they're wanting to put out content. So for a business owner or somebody who's like, they know it's a necessary thing now, because you cannot, and you got to have social proof. You have to have people that are posting, and some of are hesitant to do it. What would you say is like, hey, here are the 3 things or a couple of things they can consider. How do I go out and do it right?
Yeah. I'd say a big thing that I've been focusing on lately is just like awareness, like social media awareness. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys have seen the Utah Highway Patrol, like it has an Instagram, and they make videos, and they're like the funniest videos. Like they're so dumb. Like I saw one like 2 days ago, they announced like a road closure, but it was like put to like a meme like format, if that makes sense.
So you're like, whoever's creating this is amazing.
Exactly.
Because you would think highway patrol would
Yeah,
be
like
the
official.
most mundane.
Exactly.
When you're on the highway, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And so it's like you just have to have awareness of social media and like what actually is trending and like what actually does good. And like even if it isn't necessarily like perfect representation of your brand, like if you have a message that you just want to get out, it's like you either play the game or you don't, It's like if you want to get the views, you play the game. It's like be aware of the game.
And just go out and do it. It's like what I've seen is it's the start that stops you, right?
Exactly.
A lot of entrepreneurs are like, once I have a good friend in Arizona, and he was like, I'm going to do a podcast. He spent like $30,000 on all the gear. And I hadn't talked to him for a while. I was like, hey, Ryan, how's your podcast going? He's like, I haven't filmed one yet. And this has been a year. And I was like, what do you mean you haven't filmed one yet? And he's like, well, I'm waiting to get this camera that spins around the room to catch new angles. Once I get that, then I'll do the podcast. It's like, dude, we were going to do a podcast. So I did his first podcast. I said, let's just throw in. He's like, now? We're going to do it now? So I did the first podcast, and it's the book, The Secret. It's where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? And since that time, he's like, now all of a sudden his mind started turning, and he booked his next podcast next.
Yeah,
He's done like
exactly.
200.
Exactly.
That was crushing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people just don't post.
And that's a big thing I see too with social media is like so many people are scared of that start, like that initial phase, like especially when it comes to like social media, like if you want to be like an influencer or whatever. I saw it was just a graphic the other day where it was like two canyons, like two sides of the canyon, and it was like a bridge in between it, and the bridge was just like being cringe. It was like in order to get to the other side where you want to be, like you need to just put yourself out there and like have the risk of looking cringe on the internet or looking like dumb or whatever it is,
We were just talking about that on the way in.
Yeah.
because there's a million times where you're gonna post something and there's gonna be people that are like, oh, this kid is so cringe and like it's so embarrassing, like oh, I don't know, whatever the people say, and there's gonna be a million haters always. But it's like if you don't get past that initial phase of just like starting, it's like it's never gonna keep going.
Yeah, you can overanalyze, right? You
Absolutely.
look at-
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah,
Easy.
my biggest post I've done, he got me crying before. I was talking about my daughter, and I was crying, and so my eyes were like big, huge bags, and then we did the post, and I saw the video, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so hideous. But it was my biggest post by far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just can't
Exactly.
overanalyze what you
Exactly.
look like, sound like. You just have to go out and do it.
Something that I don't know, advice that I've heard, and I'm just curious your take, but it's like until you've made 100 videos, don't tell me that you're trying to be a social
Yeah.
media content creator, right? Like until you've actually hit 100 videos, you can't even really figure out your niche, right? Like you can't even see like what hits, what's trending. Like there's no way for you to even like, right? Until you actually can see the data to go off of. Like I just feel like that. Have you seen that? Have you started other channels?
100%. It's like for me, for example, like this whole aura farming thing, like it's been going on for about a month-ish, and it's like I'm already getting to a point where I'm gonna need to like pivot my focus, because like I'm still getting some views, but it's like not nearly as big as it was like when it started. Obviously, I mean that's just the name of the game of social media. It's just all trends, right? And so like I'm in a stage right now where getting back from like my mission trip and like being in college and like all this stuff, like I'm literally just throwing mud at the wall right now and just like trying to see what sticks and like figure out what happens, because like I'm gonna need to pivot, like make different content. I'm not gonna obviously do aura farming for the next like 10 years and make money off of it, you know what I mean? And so it's just like like the consistency is obviously going to be way more valuable than like having like a couple things that are like really big, if that makes sense. And so like for me, I want to just, like I said, throw mud at the wall, see what sticks, see what happens, see what works, see what doesn't, and just take as many opportunities as I possibly can. Because like the 100 videos that it takes, the 100 like failed videos is like every video you're closer to like that one video that blows up or that one niche that you finally find.
That's it. Write that down. That was so good. That's so powerful.
You're friends with London Laz, right? We were at a sneaker night the other day, and he, I think for the first year plus, his mom was looking at his videos and maybe a few friends, and he just kept putting content out every single day, and now he's had many, many millions. But I mean, the average person would quit. They'd get frustrated, and they'd be like, I've gotten 5 likes on this video that I put all this time and energy in, but you just have to keep going. You have to try new things. You have to be flexible.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
And I also think that people actually have to look at the views, not the likes and not the comments.
Yeah.
Because that's what the algorithm's looking for, right?
Exactly.
Like they're looking at how many thousands of people are seeing your content, right? Like versus, because like I just got a message from Instagram yesterday and they're like, hey, like we have all these partners now for you and we have all this, right? It's like every post I make now, I can make hundreds of dollars just because I can, right? Just because Instagram was like, oh, you qualify. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I qualified. Okay, cool. I qualified for something now.
Yeah.
But it is this interesting thing because people over-analyze even just their likes. And it's like, that's not necessarily the game, right? You got to show up on other people's platforms and that's only getting like it's the views, it's not necessarily the likes.
Yeah, there's a graphic that I saw where it was like, if you ever get discouraged about like your views or whatever, it's like, this is what a room of 10 people looks like. Like if you got 10 views, this is what that looks like. And it was like a room of 10 people, like a pretty, like, obviously not a lot of people, right? But it's like, even on Instagram, like even if you post a bad video, you can usually get at least like 1,000 views just from like the algorithm just checking your content. And so like a room full of 1,000 people, that's huge, right? Or like even for me now, if I get a video with 10,000 views, I feel like, oh, that video did so bad. But if you think about it, like a room full of 10,000 people, that's insane amount of people. That's a stadium. It's insane to think about.
Well, I have a challenge for everyone watching this. Go watch Brandon's content because you'll go down a rabbit hole and you'll end up watching like 38 videos because they're so funny. Like he's just so creative with a scooter or whatever it is. And I think anyone watching this also just got some great advice on how to really create content. Get your brand out there. Get your message out there. So it's an honor to have you.
Thanks for joining
Appreciate
us.
you guys.
Well, welcome to obviously the X Room podcast. We're so excited to have you. If you enjoyed this content and you think that this is something that was resonant to you, that you were inspired by, please give us a like and a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We have so much more content coming your way, and we're going to be interviewing so many incredible entrepreneurs. So see you next time.